Back again. Jerry's back. Tell some men. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Dun, 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 dun. Katie, thanks for the inspiration on that. Much love. Appreciate you being here for the live show. If you missed this live, I'm live every day with any game you can imagine. New, old, and everything in between. Tonight we're playing Castlevania on PlayStation 5. The Castlevania was originally on Nintendo Entertainment System. What I'm playing here is the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, which includes a bunch of different Castlevania games, much cheaper. I just rented this off of Gamefly. Maybe they'll sponsor me one day. This was much cheaper. Rachel, so nice to see you today. I'm glad I got you sold on Castlevania. What's up, Michelle? It's after 5. What are you up to tonight? Yeah, so we're going to pop this classic in here. I'm going to start taking my shirt off at the end of the stream, too. If you're new to the channel, you will love that I play a different game every stream. You can discover new games, find old games you loved, and everything in between. And I actually have a personality. It's kind of like a vlog. It's very interesting, the conversations we have. We put the best parts of the conversations in the time points. So without screwing around any longer, I'm going to pop my head up in the corner here, and we're going to get it on. Oh, it's your night off. All right. Thank you. Who hit that like button first? That was Katie, wasn't it? I know it was Katie who hit that like button. This is my first time playing this game. Somehow, I had not played Castlevania ever. I think of myself as a gamer. It's amazing how many games I'm just discovering for the first time in forever. Such a gaming virgin, Jerry. You haven't played Castlevania. You haven't really been a gamer. Do you think we can beat this? I only play games once, which puts... It makes it interesting. I'm like, let's see if we can knock this game out. First play. It's not very often I can knock him out on the first play, but some of these old games, you might be able to get through them on the first play. Marshall, double trouble, that's right. I love when I can do 2 streams. It seems with playing a different game every stream, it's 2 short streams at different times of day is better than 1 long, hard grinder, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you're just streaming Warzone all the time, then sure, why don't you do a... No, don't waste those throwing knives. But I know most everybody just grinds the same games over and over again, and... boring. I think it's close whether I'd rather have a real job or grind the same games over and over. At least with a real job, I'd get real pay consistently. Because you never know with gaming what kind of pay you're going to get. What did that do? Oh, alright. Oh, so if you hit up, that just... No, don't throw that thing. And hearts actually give you knife throws, which is strange to me. Do I need to put myself down over here on the left now? Got me way up in the right. Dude, that bat hit me in the foot. Yes, killed it that time. How do I jump? Alright. Yeah, there we go. I'm very excited. If you are big into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection is coming out soon. And it's gonna have all the old Turtles games. So exciting. If you love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's a must. What am I supposed to do right here? What am I supposed to do with this? Anybody know what Ah, no! Did I eat that bat? I kinda ate that bat a little bit. How do I get through this? Oh, that knife doesn't work. The whip worked a little bit. Do I go back here? What does money do? I want health. Oh, there's a set of stairs. Okay. Chris Byram 704 Gaming. Nice to see you, Chris. How'd you find out I was live? Did you pop in from Facebook? This guy's kind of like Indiana Jones with his whip. Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na. Oh! But this mother fluffer can't swim? Okay. He's He's this bad boy with a whip, but he can't swim? Come on now. That's a silly thing in old games. Oh, you fell in the water. You're dead. Like Sarah Connor in Terminator. You're dead already. Come on now. Your next door neighbor had all the action figures and the Power Ranger ones. Nice. I got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers today on Super Nintendo. And I got X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. That looks fun. Alright, let me make sure to get right on the edge of this baby and jump. Is that better? Die, frog. I guess you're a frog, man. Does anybody ever have life up in here? I'm glad this dude was packing something, though. Yeah, so nice to see you again, Chris. I'm only on YouTube now. In fact, I've just made a commitment today. I will not stream anywhere else until I talk about... I mean, I have no plans to stream anywhere else, but I will not suddenly, impulsively stream anywhere else unless I let all of you know for at least a week on YouTube, and my mom said she'll be my Facebook sponsor. So I gotta tell my mom too. I've agreed to tell my mother, because my mom has heard all about my streaming journey and that kind of thing. I didn't take damage from that, nice. So I've agreed I am not gonna stream anywhere except YouTube unless I have a lot of conversations about exactly why I need to stream somewhere besides YouTube. What is this? What is this little fire pot? What is that supposed to do? No, don't jump on the bat. I was trying to whip the bat. Whip it good. I got the Michael Jackson experience on Nintendo Wii. Y'all ready for that? Y'all ready for the Michael Jackson experience? Could you hit him with one of these? No. Look at it. You throw like my high school teacher, who his brother was in the NFL. His brother was in the NFL. And I asked him one day during class, I said, well, why? His younger brother was in the NFL. I asked him why. I'm like, why are you not in the NFL? Didn't hardly get an A in that class again. That's what this dude throws like that. Dude, I can actually duck. This dude throws like that. Oh, God. Oh, look, this thing goes 2 feet. Jerry promised, believe him. Sometimes I get led into temptation just like y'all do sometimes. So I'm praying not to be led into temptation doing something dumb like streaming on Facebook. Facebook is not the place for me to stream. They made that clear. They made that clear. We don't care about you. We don't need you here. Alright, can I whip this bat? Ah! Quit touching me! I just played this game. I didn't mean to come in your lair, but... Oh, is that health? Ow! Alright, jump up there. Dang! This bat's about to drop me unless we get some new... I need my little knife. Oh my God, this bat just embarrassed me right now. This bat just rode me so hard. I have not played Dying Light yet, no. I'm aware of Dying Light. It's on my radar. Me all said that you weren't that excited about it. Thought about playing any zombies anytime soon? I actually traded Vanguard in nearly for free today. I played Vanguard Zombies a couple of times, and I'm only playing games once. I mean, I considered, you know, maybe I could play Warzone new season updates. No, that's not necessary. There's no point in watching somebody play Warzone who hardly ever plays it. Ah, alright, we can actually just trade with him at this point. But you can't have one, see, now you can't be doing that. Ooh, did I get a hit on him for free? your bat head up. Come on over here. Come on. I'm ready for you. What's up, Andrew? How you doing? He hit my foot. Come on, bat boy. Or bat girl, I don't know how you identify, but whatever. I'm glad you enjoy my Warzone strategy, Andrew. Oh, nice, good. I'm planning. I'll just end this. Let's just end this. We'll just reset this and see if we can get through it. I tried to reset it. I don't know if I even continued or not. I want to just reset it. How do I do that? Okay. Game reset. Yes, let's reset this game. Just like the reset button. Oh, you've been wanting to get some zombies? I'm only doing co-streams now if I like playing by myself. It's very easy, it's very flexible. Right now I'm not looking to do any co-streams unless it's sponsored on a game I've never played before. So if you've got some favorite game that I've never played before, yeah, hit me up and maybe if you want to sponsor it, you can stream with me and we'll play the game together. That's all I'm looking for right now, because otherwise I'd just rather play by myself. And the viewers seem to prefer me playing by myself most of the time, too. All of my top streams, except the ones in person. The only way I want to play with anyone not sponsored necessarily is if it's in person. Like, I need to text my friend Justin, see if he can come hang out. We could play some, something in person together. So that's what I'm looking for. I love, too, for the long term of the channel, it's definitely financially viable in the long term. Because, I mean, if you're a game developer, the ideal person to sponsor to play your game would be somebody who consistently plays different games. And most people who game play the same crap all the time, which it's not ideal to sponsor them to play because then their audience is much less likely to actually convert. Yeah, I would love to play with Laura again, but at this point, Laura's got so much to do. I'd love to play again with her someday, but I think those streams will be infrequent. Maybe during the school year, we could do like once a month or something for a live stream with Laura. I'll ask her if she'd be up for doing once a month and maybe play like Diddy Kong Racing or something that'd be fun to play two-player together. Thank you, we got 6 likes on it. Who's hit that like button already? I'm grateful for those of you that enjoy the Warzone gameplay. I look back on my channel, I've made over 3,000 videos on YouTube. I've unlisted most of them, which means you can watch them if you've watched them in the past. But they're not available in search results anymore or on my public channel page. And I'm like, man, if I would have played different games... Like, I know it won't work for me just grinding Warzone. But if I would have played different games from the beginning... Wait, this thing freezes time? That's pretty good. Oh my god, that thing freezes time? Like, can I use that? How do I use that? Dude, use the time thing. Oh my god, that's good. That's so good. Oh my god, that's filthy! That's so good! That's so ridiculously good! Oh my god, that time thing's nasty. Yeah, like, I'd love to play... I'm gonna see, you know, figure out the best games to play with Laura, and maybe, like, once a month we'll play a two-player game together. Like, Diddy Kong Racing would be cool. What's up, Aaron? Nice to see you today. I know, I wish I didn't have the axe. But that time-stopping thing was some kind of nasty. Oh, you like it nasty, don't you, boy? Andrew, I'm glad you enjoy watching all the gameplay. I'm glad at this point I've just tested almost every different thing one could, I mean, within reason. I've tested so many different things on the stream, and you know, like, what could I enjoy and keep doing consistently, and what could, you know, basically, like, let's put it all together. And it seems to me the one thing I can do indefinitely is I can play different games every day. I can play different games every day indefinitely. I know I'm not up for streaming the same games all the time, though. I mean, like, basically playing any game for me repeatedly ruins it. Oh, I can stop time on this guy, can't I? Let me do that. How do I... Dang, you just touch on him. Yeah, I'm not up for playing them same games every day. It's so boring. And everybody else does that. Everybody, not... Most of the streamers I know on YouTube, almost everywhere, almost everybody grinds the same game. I think there's an actual shortage of content creators who play variety. And who do a good job with it. Because almost all the creators grind the same games, there's hardly any competition to be a variety gamer. Since, like, everybody grinds games, you know, almost all the most entertaining personalities grind games. You know, most entertaining personalities aren't playing retro games. You want to see some Mario Party? I played Mario Party with Laura, the newest one. Would you think it'd be worth it for me to play... Dude, that guy, that was such a dirty little move. He knocked me off the level, and I died. You little blue stinker. Oh, okay. These little blue guys, gotta figure out how to whip them in the face. The little blue stinker. You think you have this game on Sega? Nice. Yeah, I got this on PlayStation 5. I rented it off of Gamefly. I guess I could ask Gamefly for a sponsorship. Oh, I can duck to this dude did it again! He did it again! This is the same blue one. I know, you gotta find a niche, and I think variety streaming is my sweet spot. I can play different games every day and make it fun. My brother's like, well, why would somebody watch your stream instead of just going to IGN? Because IGN's impersonal and inconsistent. You know, like, who's behind the IGN videos that they make? You know, it's very impersonal. Variety gaming is usually impersonal. Like, people just put up the gameplay. They don't even bother lots of times to actually put a face cam on. Like, you'd be amazed how low the competition is for variety gaming. Because the path of variety gaming, to me, seems to be more of a long, steady path. And variety gaming kind of sucks in that, you know, it's like having one-night stands all the time. You know, one-night stands are better than getting nothing, but... I don't know, sometimes I felt lonelier after a one-night stand than just being by myself, you know what I'm saying? Joe says IGN sucks. I know I don't generally watch IGN videos. What I hope I'm inspiring you to do is make a long-term vision for your life. Like, that's what I'm thinking right now. Like, over the next 30 years, you know, what can I do consistently? What can I do consistently that I would enjoy doing, be good at doing, and that would actually be valuable for people? Like, the world doesn't honestly need any more Warzone streamers. I mean, there's every kind of Warzone streamer. Hot chicks, tatted up dudes, cheaters. You know, people that use all kinds of wacky strategies. People that are just really good at the game. I mean, you really got everything already. What happened? What just happened? Did that candle just light me on fire? As soon as I'm hired, I'm fired. I think YouTube could use some quality variety streamers. And game development companies could really use. That thing one-shots! Alright, alright. Now I get it. So I like to think about, you know, what could the collective use? Not just... What could the collective use that I would love to provide? To me, that's the magic spot. Is to balance, okay, what collectively do we need in this world with what can I provide? Quit letting him jerk you off! You know, as I felt the other day, I sat there and played Returnal, but it doesn't seem... There doesn't seem to be much of a need, especially over the long term, for me to play Returnal. Yeah, I can play it and I can enjoy it, and I'm grateful y'all watch it, but... You know. Dang it. These blue things are fun! Come here, blue boy. Ah! Ah! Blue things are going to work. Let me read the chat. And Michelle says there's the added bonus, my wisdom. I'm glad I've got some of that to offer. And one reason I also want to brand myself just off of the game I'm playing. I don't want to brand myself anymore directly for what I'm talking about. Katie says doing a stream on the free game currently on Epic Games. That's a good idea. That's a real good idea for me to make sure I've covered the free games. That's a great idea, Katie. Thank you. The heads are infamous. I'd suggest ignoring them. Okay, so you mean just dodge them like that? Okay. Fudge. All right, just run. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, John. Ah! Just like my Warzone solo strategy. Just try and avoid the heads. Try and avoid the heads as much as possible. Hey, what's up, Biterio? Nice to see you today. I'm buying and holding Bitcoin, baby. You got me wanting to check my portfolio. What is my Bitcoin portfolio worth anyway these days? Dude, Ethereum has pumped. Says my current balance is 26,000. That's awesome. I got 24,000 in Bitcoin, 1,200 in Chronos. I'm holding that. And there's no point in selling it for a $2,500 loss. Might as well just hold it. And, or maybe I'll sell it just to wash the loss off and... Nah, I'll sell it and put that in the bank. And then I got 438 in Ethereum. That's what I'm holding these days. I would love to see a future where Bitcoin is the new global reserve currency. The US dollar is hella manipulated. And, dude, that was not what I meant to do. I would like to... Oh, baby. I would like to see a future with no more US dollar as the main reserve currency for the world, which it is right now. I want to see a future where Bitcoin is the reserve currency of the world. You know, where you have proof of reserve, like, because Bitcoin is a decentralized... Bitcoin is the most amazing... I'm going to say it right here. Bitcoin is the most amazing technology... Let me put this in the time points. Right before this blue guy hits me. Well, what was I talking about? Oh, coming up with a long-term vision. Alright, so I'm gonna type in time point out here at 24:14. What was I saying? Holy crap, I just blanked, guys. Oh, Bitcoin. Alright, so I'm gonna say right now, I think Bitcoin is the most revolutionary technology we've seen in the last... Dude, stop going down the stairs. I just want to duck. I think Bitcoin is the most revolutionary technology we've seen in the last 15 years. Because it's peer-to-peer money. Now think about how important money is in our system. And the one constant, Shane Smith, thanks for subscribing. Welcome to the YouTube channel. The one constant we've had with money over a long period of time, like, you know, millenniums, is that powerful people and organizations control the money. Governments. And for the first time, we now have a technology that allows us to have peer-to-peer money that's not controlled by a government. I mean, to me, that's a big deal. And I think cryptocurrencies are the future of money. Now, I'm not saying fiat currencies like dollars will just stop being used altogether. But to me, cryptocurrencies is where everything's headed. So I think if you want to totally transform your finances, simple solution, buy and hold some Bitcoin. These other cryptos, it's too early to tell whether they're really going to be good or not. These two, like Ethereum, it could be great. It could crash and burn, though. It doesn't, and it does too many things. You know, it's good, but, you know, Ethereum's not as trustworthy at this point as Bitcoin is, and it's so complicated and more centralized. And then anything newer than Ethereum is, you know, it's way too early. I think, oh, dude, if you touch that, you die. I think the world is going towards a Bitcoin standard. And I think this will be one of the most positive changes we've ever seen in the world. Because right now, there's so many problems. There's so many problems that are totally caused by the fact that you can't just hold your money. You know, housing, the reason housing costs are so high is because governments keep printing money, which inflates the money supply, which means your wealth is being discreetly stolen from you. Every time they inflate the money supply, that means the money you already have goes down in value. And therefore, people have to do things like buy houses, invest in the stock market just to keep up with inflation. And therefore, the stock market gets way overvalued. Companies get huge amounts of power concentrated in their hands. Much more than they need. Like, a company like Facebook is way overvalued. Because and somebody like Mark Zuckerberg has so much power because all these stockholders have dumped huge amounts of money into Facebook in order to stay ahead of inflation. And this creates a system of centralized power and of inequality. And when you got something like Bitcoin, I think it can fix like half the problems we have in the world today. Because Bitcoin provides opportunity for decentralization of money. And Bitcoin provides the possibility that you can just literally hold it. Anyone, anywhere in the world can buy it and hold it, and the price will go up over time. I mean, it may go way down and way up, but over time, Bitcoin has consistently went up in value over any, like, 3-year period. It's consistently went up a lot. You know, that's... most people in the world don't have access to the U.S. stock market. You know, they can't invest in stocks. They can't buy houses in the U.S. But Bitcoin is so easy, most people in the world in the next 10 years are going to have the ability to buy Bitcoin. And this might not seem like a big deal in the US or the UK where the money's a bit more stable. But when you're somewhere like Argentina where inflation skyrockets consistently and the government basically steals all of your wealth from you periodically, you know, something like Bitcoin is life-changing. It's massive. And that's why in places like Argentina, the crypto adoption rate's going through the roof. They're adopting it faster there than here. And that's what's so cool. So I think if you... you have not missed out on crypto. Crypto's just getting started. Imagine if you could have bought stock in, like, early cell phone companies or computer companies. Like, I think you have that chance again with crypto. Ivan Pagan, what up, Ivan? John says Castlevania is brutal. It is. I like a brutal game, though. I like it, you know? What else? Yeah, Bitcoin's amazing. It's our best hope at freedom. Yes, and it seems that freedom-loving countries are adopting Bitcoin, and authoritarian dictatorships like China and Russia are banning Bitcoin. Because they see that if their people... Now, some of the smartest dictatorships will go in on Bitcoin because of their own country's potential to profit. But I'd say the stupider or uneducated dictatorships, and yes, I just lumped China and Russia in stupider, uneducated dictatorships. You know, they think too much about having control of their people and not enough about being, you know, on the world stage. And, you know, if China was smart, which maybe some of them are, you know, maybe some of the people in China are discreetly buying a bunch of Bitcoin right now, and then they're going to legalize it and encourage everybody to use it. Maybe they are doing that. Maybe that's going to happen in Russia. But I mean, if you really wanted to take your country to the next level, being one of the first to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender seems to be like a cheat code. And that's why El Salvador and the Central African Republic have already done that. I had a vision one day when I had shit so much that I was slightly delirious and dehydrated. I had a vision that almost all the freedom-loving countries in the world would add Bitcoin as legal tender in the future. So if you buy Bitcoin today, you're looking at a 10 to 100 times increase in the price over the next 10 years, in my opinion. Now, I suggest you hold that Bitcoin in your own wallet. Learn how to have self-custody of a wallet. And then it's just like holding cash. In the sense that it can't be... And if you secure, like... You know, if you've got your Bitcoin secure, the government can't even come take it from you either. Can you get dividends or interest from Bitcoin? No. And that's why some of these other cryptos do have all this interest and stuff, but think about where that comes from. The interest, like you can stake Ethereum. You're going to be able to stake Ethereum. You can already stake Ethereum on Coinbase, for example. But where's that interest coming from? Well, that interest is inflating the currency. And what I think is really crappy about Ethereum is, you know, they're essentially giving the people who've already got a lot of Ethereum more Ethereum with the way they're doing the staking and making the network much more centralized. And then hitting, you know, essentially funding the network through fees that people pay, which is one reason I don't like the direction Ethereum's going. Not saying it can't work, but I personally don't like the direction they're taking it. They're taking it in a centralized... You know, the average person loses direction. The average person... They're taking Ethereum as being taken in an elitist direction. So that if you're... You know, if you've got bankrolls of Ethereum, you get an advantage over regular people. And I'm a man of the people. I'm in favor of anything that helps the people out. Ethereum is turning itself in the direction of, you know, if you've got a lot of Ethereum, you get the new Ethereum that's created. And then the regular people using Ethereum get fees burned to help fund the network and make it deflationary. So Bitcoin doesn't have any interest that it pays out. But what's so good about Bitcoin is the simplicity and the really low inflation rate. And the inflation rate on Bitcoin is like 1.5% right now, and in 2 years it's going to drop to half of that, to 0.8. But what's really great, the inflation is paid for by mining in Bitcoin, and that's why Bitcoin, according to Michael Saylor, Bitcoin's computer network is the most decentralized, secure computer network in the world. And if you're going to have money, if you're going to have a network that handles money, I think that's a really important quality. And that's one that Ethereum does not have. And no other crypto even is going to come close on. So Bitcoin does not pay any interest or dividends. The beauty of it is, though, the whole point with Bitcoin is you just hold it and it continues to go up indefinitely in price. I mean, I think it could be $1 billion for a Bitcoin one day. If you want me to explain why that's possible, I'm happy to do that. Otherwise, we could switch subjects. Bitra says Lightning Network is government's attempts to control Bitcoin. Now, yeah, oh man, when you've got layer 2s, sure, then governments can get in on that and have some control on that. But you can always take your Bitcoin off of Lightning Networks too and put it in your own wallet. So I think Lightning Networks is very good because it makes Bitcoin easier to use on a day-to-day basis. And you know, if you are just trying to spend your Bitcoin, you know, it doesn't matter if you have a little bit of your money in the Lightning Network, you know, and the government seizes it, that's not a big deal. But what you can do is you can have the majority of your money on the main just in Bitcoin in your own Bitcoin wallet, and then you can send money periodically over to the Lightning Network to spend. So it allows you to keep your money safe and have it be useful. Right now it's a little difficult with Bitcoin. You know, the fees and the transaction times. The Lightning Network is making it a lot more accessible to people. So I think the Lightning Network's great. Just don't hold all your... Like, I hold almost all my Bitcoin in my own Bitcoin wallet where I've got all the keys and stuff. And then what I am able to do is use the Lightning Network to make day-to-day transactions. And that's the ideal formula. You know, I've got day-to-day simplicity and ease in day-to-day transactions. And then I'm able to have the majority of my savings off the network. Bitrio says it's Bitcoin or bust. It is. Yes, Bitrio says proof of stake is a scam, much like fiat currency. It is. Fiat currency is proof of stake, where if you already have a bunch of money, you get to decide what goes on with the rest of the money. Our whole system is proof of stake. You know, if you're Elon Musk or Bill Gates, you have a big say over what governments do. That's proof of stake. Look, Bill Gates has a ton of money. Okay, well, we'll listen to what he says. That's proof of stake. Yeah, we already have proof of stake. Proof of work is an incredible invention, and it's amazing to see the misinformation that's out there. Or a narrative that's not genuine. So the climate change narrative has been greatly manipulated. Now, it certainly seems to me logical with all humans are doing on this planet that we are contributing to changing the climate. That's pure logic. We don't have to have a debate on science. But when you've got people saying things about how much energy Bitcoin's using and it's bad for the environment, that's a manipulative narrative. Because dryers use as much energy as Bitcoin mining does. You don't hear anybody saying that dryers are bad for the environment. I mean, maybe somebody is. But you don't see narratives that dryers are contributing to global warming. Dryers should be banned. Hang your clothes up, for God's sakes, and you can save a huge amount of energy. But you can see there are people and organizations fighting against Bitcoin discreetly and intelligently because that's how you have to fight against things in a free society. And manipulated narratives like, oh, Bitcoin's bad for the environment. You know what else is bad for the environment? The traditional banking system. Dryers. Video games. A ton of energy and resources and computing power gets used on video games. These are bad for the environment. Does that mean we should stop playing them? Should we shut down the traditional banking system? Because it uses way more energy than Bitcoin, and it causes a lot of problems while it's at it. I'm happy to see the distrust in traditional media is as high as it's ever been, which is kind of sad too if you think about it. You know, got these huge organizations that have these massive systems set up to deliver news. You know, in an ideal world, those would be really helpful and delivered honestly. But as we've seen over the last 2 years, you know, a lot of the things that the media told us to be scared of, and, you know, the media, for better or worse, both sides contributed to a bunch of division and fighting. For what? You know, nobody's life that I know of got saved by all the things in the media in the last couple of years. There's not, I don't see any proof that anybody's life was saved or made better. And we've seen that some of the things were blatantly false that were put out there. Blatantly false. Purely to manipulate you. Like, just as manipulative as saying that Bitcoin's bad for the environment. Well, so is damn near everything else you like to do. Video games are bad for the environment. Driving your car is bad for the environment. Do you know the amount of animals that get slaughtered every year by cars? Commuting to work's bad for the environment. Eating meat, miserable for the environment. Big contributor to global warming. Not a popular thing to mention though, is it? Not a narrative you hear very often. Who wants to talk about how raising animals is destroying the environment? Rainforest getting cut down so people that are already overweight can eat even more steak. That's a real narrative right there. Kung Fu Classics, thank you for the 4 pounds. That's 4 pounds and 49 pence. You got retro games and you got crypto talk. Let's go. Yeah! 69 viewers.
Just 4 pounds.
Ah, crap. Sorry, I cut.
Retro games and Bitcoin / crypto talk is my favorite combination for your streams.
Oh yeah,
Thanks,
you
Jerry.
got it.
Keep it.
You got it. How did those other ones switch off? Hold up. Oh, I don't have the Streamlabs YouTube on these other ones. Okay, well, let me fix that right up. That is a little bit of an oversight. Alright, the Streamlabs YouTube should be on all these, isn't it? Now it is. There it is. You got it. Thanks a lot, Kung Fu Classes. I'm glad you appreciate these conversations. Right? I want to stream some more crypto games. I actually, I got sponsored. I got a few $100 to stream a crypto game. Right? Exactly. Stop using planes for vacations, cruise ships for trips. Damn near everything you want to do is bad for the environment. So why is Bitcoin singled out that it's bad for the environment? Well, because there's people who want to sabotage Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is bad for authoritarian regimes. Bitcoin is good for freedom, and it's bad for authoritative government. You know, if you want to manipulate and control people, you need to control people's money. Well, it really helps. It makes it a lot easier to control people's money. If you control the money, you can... To me, the entire last 2 years was really just a distraction so that the richest people in the world could get richer. Because as far as I know, it's an economic fact that over the last 2 years, the US government printed like 40% more currency, which is one of the highest amounts it's ever printed before. And that's what's led to this inflation. All those stimulus packages and loans, including the ones I got. That's why we got big inflation today, is because when you print 40% more money, well, everything should cost 40% more. And it's got unequally distributed. To me, the last couple years have been an example of, let's distract people, let's get people fighting each other and afraid, and once people are fighting each other and thoroughly distracted and really afraid, then we're gonna steal their money. And once we've stole their money, now they're gonna be helpless. Now they're gonna be financial slaves, where I have to work this job just to pay my bills. But you know what the opportunity is? Don't let me get into being negative, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to work together and make a better system. I'm really proud of how resilient all of you have been over the last 2 years. I am so proud. I'm so proud of seeing how many people are publishing contrary viewpoints. How many people have gotten interested in extraterrestrials and aliens for the first time? You know, how many people are starting to take conspiracy theories very seriously? I mean, the challenge is you can never tell exactly which one you need to take seriously. Exactly which one is 100% true or close to the truth. But I'm really proud. I'm amazed to see. You know, it looked to me like there was, you know, we survived an attempt to take over the world. That there was a very concentrated effort to take over the world by authoritarian forces, and we thwarted that. And that's amazing. Now, there's a lot of work to do, and those authoritarian forces are going to come again and again and again. But I think we've made major progress towards freedom in the last couple years. And the crap that's been pulled in the last 2 years, I would hope it never works again. I'm not mentioning specific issues, because there's multiple issues that have... There are multiple stunts that were pulled. Multiple fake narratives and, you know, distractions. I would hope we don't fall for that again, and, you know, we can make a Star Trek future together. Oh, yeah, good questions. Good questions, Bit Trio. I will put that in a time point, and we'll answer that specifically. What time is it? Time flies when you're having fun. Bit Trio says, do you regret giving up your Steam supremacy, and are you considering a comeback on Hive or another platform? What's up, Noel? Nice to see you today. So for those of you that aren't familiar, I got really into this cryptocurrency out of my own self-interest and optimistic thinking. You know, at first glance, there's a cryptocurrency named Steam, and now it's been forked into Hive. At first glance, it looks incredibly promising. Decentralized social media. Incentivized through... The currency is inflated through people's posts to the blockchain. At first glance, it seems euphoric. Like, oh my god, we can do away with Facebook and we can all just get paid for our content. The best content will get the most money. And me and a lot of other people bought into that and got really excited about it. And I put several Bitcoin into Steam in 2017, and I relentlessly promoted it. And after a year, what I learned is I did not thoroughly do my own research to start with. And what happened was I heard rumors first that the development team didn't really believe in Steam themselves, and that they were just using it as a way to cash out and get Bitcoin. I didn't want to believe that, but then I saw evidence of it. I saw their transactions. They were selling millions. I would pump up the price of Steam with a video. They even paid me to advertise it. And the community paid me tens of thousands of dollars to pump Steam out. And the core development team, the whole time, what are they doing? They're selling millions and millions and millions of dollars of Steam. Fattening their own pockets instead of hiring new talent. You know, just cashing out huge amounts. You know, manipulating things behind the scenes. And once I got into the highest levels of the community, I could see it was all a circle jerk. It was all a centralized circle jerk, and if you didn't, you know, people had their territory staked out, certain people the event planners, certain people the tech people, and if you messed with their territory, they'd hurt you in the wallet over it. And they would hurt you in the public forum and, you know, rip you over it. So after a year being saying that Steam was going to be the next Bitcoin, I saw, oh my god, I messed up on this investment badly. Not only did I make the wrong call and overlook some critical factors, you know, I sold hundreds of thousands of people on signing up for the website, and I sold just millions and millions of dollars of Steam was purchased because of my advertisements for it. And because of my relentless positivity about it. So then I posted a couple of videos and posting how I was wrong and what I'd learned and that Steam sucks. And the price went from a high of $4, at which point I had over $600,000 of Steam when it was at $4. And once I did my post, it went as low as like 10 cents after I, not instantly, but, you know, once I came out and stopped promoting it and came out and said, hey, I was wrong, this sucks, and here's why it sucks, people just started selling steadily. Even the people who disagreed, or even the people who said they didn't like me and were talking nasty, they started unloading their Steam too. Because they could see where this was headed, and the price went from like $4 to 10 cents. And it ended up going back over $1. But, so Bitrio asked, do I regret? I don't regret any part of that. It was a very valuable learning experience. It was a very valuable learning experience. I don't regret any of it. However, this is why I like promoting Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is too big for me to matter. When I promoted Steam, it mattered, and that's because Steam was a security. In my opinion, Steam was absolutely a security. It was not a commodity or money at all. It was a security. And Steam should have been regulated by the SEC. And so should the majority of cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is so big, though, it doesn't matter if I promote it or not. Like, it's so big that me saying Bitcoin's great, it may personally make a difference to you, but the community is so big, there's so much money involved. You know, I'm part of something massive with Bitcoin. And that's what I love. That's what's so great about Bitcoin, is it is so massive. And that's why there's a lot of these crap coins out there, because people are making money promoting them. You know, you pump up your coin, say how great it is, when really it sucks and it's nothing more than an idea. Or even if it does get some traction, I think there's some currencies that have traction, like Hex, that are total scams, and they're done intelligently. They're gonna crash one day, though. Because it's a manipulated system. It's intended to draw your self-interested in, and, you know, the market's been made artificially small. Therefore, the price has been made artificially large. And, you know, the whole thing's just gonna fall out one day. It's just gonna go, like, straight to zero, like Luna. But it'll probably hold together and have some up and downs, but it'll either trend towards zero or go straight towards zero. I mean, it might go up 10x more first, but somebody's gonna break the bank and take all the liquidity for themselves one day. Katie says, how did they not sue you? It was a rug pull? Yeah, it was I didn't know it was a rug pull. The rug got pulled on me just the same as it got pulled on everybody else. And there were some lawsuits involving Steam, because then Tron bought it. I mean, I wasn't big enough to sue for better or worse. There were bigger people to go after. Like, there's no point in going after me. Like, what are you gonna get out of me? You know, my wife and I barely have a zero net worth right now. Back then, we had maybe about the same. Like, it wasn't worth it to sue me. That's the only reason people didn't sue me, is because it wasn't worth it. Like, I'm very transparent about my money, you know. What are you gonna do, file suit against me? Okay. My wife's an attorney. I'll have free legal representation. And, you know, if you win, what are you gonna get? You can't take from somebody what they don't have. But there were some lawsuits against, like, the Steam It. Yeah, there got to be lawsuits at the highest levels, but it wasn't big enough to come down to me. I helped and was an instrumental player, but because crypto's not regulated yet, I would like to see it regulated better, but because it's not clearly regulated too, there's a low degree of certainty as to whether you'd even win a lawsuit. Like, so if somebody had tried to sue me, you know, it was not legally considered a security, and it still hasn't been 5 years later. So that, in a court of law, you know, there's... If somebody was on the stock market or something, that'd be... You know, yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's up? What's up, Steve Riley? Nice to see you today. So what I'm doing now, so essentially Steam split into Hive and Steam. I'm still posting when I go live on Hive because it doesn't take any extra time, and there's a few people that are active that come through there. And I actually get like $1 or so out of most of the posts. And again, it only takes like 30 seconds. And there's 40,000 people following there, so... You know, the majority of them aren't active, but... Bitrio says Jerry was a boss on Steam. Yeah, I did. I traded... Yep, exactly. So I got screwed just like everybody else. Now, I didn't get screwed as bad as everybody else, but if I would have just held my Bitcoin and played video games, I could have literally just held my Bitcoin and played video games. I put at least 10 Bitcoin. And I think about 15 Bitcoin over time. So if you do the math, I put at least what today, even with the low crypto prices, you know, would be worth 300,000, and that's almost twice as much or so as I got out of Steam in total. So I could have done almost nothing, just sat there with my Bitcoin, and made twice as much money, and played video games. Now, who got screwed? I spent thousands of hours, is that correct? I spent probably I spent thousands of hours working on Steam. I ruined the key thing I did that sabotaged this YouTube channel was going all in on Steam. People got sick of my Steam videos. I am annoyed. I was obnoxious and annoyed everyone who'd ever watched a video on my channel with tons of ads for Steam. If I can point to one thing I did that most sabotaged my YouTube channel was going all in on crypto instead of gaming, where I had an audience, and not just going all in on crypto, but going all in on Dash and then on Steam. As long as I was kind of more general crypto YouTuber, people like that, but people hated the all in on Dash and all in on Steam. And the ads for Steam especially really pushed it over the edge. So I essentially ruined my business online, destroyed a lot of the value of my YouTube channel, pissed a bunch of people off, and made 150,000 less than if I had literally done nothing. Just held the 15 Bitcoin, let them sit there in a wallet. And that taught me a valuable lesson. Sometimes the best thing you can do is do nothing. You know, like I have 1 Bitcoin now. Do nothing with it. I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to buy any other cryptos. Just sit there and enjoy my 1 Bitcoin. And just hold it forever. If I could pay off all my debt and all my debt and my wife's debt and still have half of my Bitcoin, I think I might sell at that point. So at this rate, the price of Bitcoin, if the price of Bitcoin hits $1 million, I would consider selling half of it, wiping out all my debt, and I don't know, at that point though, you might as well just keep making minimum payments on the debt because the Bitcoin price will go even higher. Hey, overrated! You gotta, how did you find the stream today? I'm so excited when we get a new face in here. That means I finally figured out where to stick it. How did you find the stream today? Welcome. Bitrio says 15 BTC. Yes, I had 15 Bitcoin in 2017. I pissed it away on Steam. A valuable life lesson. Sometimes doing nothing, you will come out way ahead compared to doing something. Now, yes, there are times to take action. There are times to work, but you know, I literally could have just held, I had at least 10 Bitcoin in 2016 when I quit my gaming channel to try and make more money in crypto. I could have held all my Bitcoin and just played video games the whole time. I guarantee you I'd have made 10 times as much money as I made. And I could have just played video games the whole time. And I'm keeping that lesson in mind now. You know what I'm doing? I'm live streaming games. I'm not doing shit else. All I'm gonna do is live stream games, hang out with my family, make sure my wife can work her job. I don't need to do anything else. Lots of times in life, doing more is worse than doing less. You stress yourself out, you hustle really hard, and the end objective you got to was less than if you'd have just relaxed. Isn't that crazy? E. Riddle says, when did you sell your Bitcoin? 2017, I traded it for Steam. I remember too when I sold out some of my Steam, I remember sending huge transactions, like $20,000 at once. You know, like sending like 5 Bitcoin or whatever at a time to sell on Coinbase. Yeah, Steam's another, it's a shitty crypto. Don't even worry about it. It's one of those things that was in the top 10 years ago and is clearly proven to be a big failure. But the only reason I got attracted into Steam in the first place is because I was thinking, I read Tony Robbins' book, Money Master the Game, which on the surface was a great book, and it's all about how to win the game of making money for yourself. But on a deeper level, it totally loses the game of being considerate and selfless. It totally loses the game of remembering that money is a system, you know, we all participate in, and it's, you know, it's written from a point of view of how do you make money for yourself, which is, it's worth considering, but what's more important is the big picture. Remember, money is a game we're collectively all playing. We should not be looking at everybody else as an opponent that we want to try and beat in this game of money. Because that's how the current system works. And I'll give you a little... Most of us are not on the winning side of that system. Most people on Earth are on the losing side of that system. You know, of let's play money like it's a game and beat our opponents and see who gets the most of it. Most of us are on the losing side of that. That's awesome! Overrated, you were just scrolling YouTube. That is awesome. Do you remember what video you watched the other day? I just unlisted a bunch of my videos so that... Basically, if you watch a video of mine, all I do every day now is I do live streams. I play different games every day. So I'm not playing the same game. I'm playing different games every day, and then we have conversations that some people really find inspirational and helpful. So if you watch one of my videos, I want something like this to be a good experience for you. So I just hid thousands of videos from public consumption, which, you know, if you watched a tutorial on music production or my thoughts on crypto, you might not really care about watching me play video games and talk about random stuff. So I would love to know if you remember the video you watched. Appreciate you popping in here. Brewmaster, nice to see you. Hey, I'm gonna take the shirt off at the end of this, at the end of it. The no shirt off is kind of unique too. To me, it means I'm stripping down and getting vulnerable. That, and I think nudity, being comfortable being naked is extremely therapeutic. So the no shirt really stands out. Smacking that mummy's ass! Yeah! Slap that mummy's ass! Whoa, we just barely beat that. That was sick. That was sick right there. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do at the end of my streams from now on is take my shirt off. We'll fire it up. But I'm gonna have the shirt on for most of the stream, because most of y'all seem to prefer that. And then we'll take it off at the end. That way we get the thumbnail is a little bit interesting. You're like, why does this dude have a shirt off? Click. Then you gotta stay till the end to get the shirt off. Alright, it was a Warzone video? Oh, cool. Thanks for letting me know that. I actually took most of my Warzone videos down, because I'm not gonna play Warzone anymore. Everybody and their mother and even their grandmother now plays Warzone. Like, why should I play it? I doubt anybody else has streamed this game at all today on YouTube. Woo! This level just turned things up a bit. Let's go at this level one more time before we wrap it up. That's awesome. Good memory, Overrated. Thank you for letting me know that. Daniel, appreciate the shout out. Yeah, BitTrio, it would have worked out for me if I had switched my Bitcoin at $4 Steam. But that's the thing. You never... The future is being created in real time. So anybody who's predicting the future ultimately is just guessing. And looking at one possible future, because we're creating this future in real time. All of us are. And how you want the future to go impacts how it goes. I can actually save right here. I'm never gonna... I only play games once, so I don't think we're gonna play this again, but... Dude, I'm taking a freaking swim! You know, some people claim, I think we each do have some intuitive abilities to see what's about to happen immediately. You know, for example, have you ever noticed that you'll think of somebody you haven't talked to in a long time and they'll text you or they'll call you? Now that is intuition, and that's our natural magical connection that we all have. So there absolutely is intuition, but somebody putting out a YouTube video saying this is how the future is gonna be, yeah, maybe they're right, maybe they're not. I've been wrong so many times with my predictions. Yeah, somebody like Nostradamus, yeah, they made some good predictions, but Nostradamus was wrong on lots of things too, I'm sure. I don't think every Nostradamus prediction was accurate. And a lot of the stuff you see, it's like, oh, look, he predicted this correctly. I'm like, yeah. I could say 1,000 years from now, something bad will happen. And then Hitler comes along. Look, that's what I was talking about. Sal, what's up, Sal? Nice to see you today. Katie says you can use cloud vision to make sure you don't lose monetization for adult content. What do you mean by that, Katie? Oh, great question. Great question. Eric, I'll answer that and then we'll turn it off here. Eric said, what's the best way to help your stream grow on YouTube? Alright, so I'm gonna... Dude, what time point was that? I hope it was 44. Alright. What is it now? 1:09. 09. Alright. So we'll wrap it up on this note. Great question, Eric. I love answering questions live. Nicholas, thank you for the $1.99 on the super chat. Alright. Eric Riddle just asked, what's the best way to help your stream grow on YouTube? So the best, there's two basic, all right, there's one thing that's more important than everything else, and it's consistency over time. Everything else you do is worthless You know, if you quit your stream like I did for a year and then quit it again for a year, yeah, all that hustling and grinding doesn't mean anything if you quit for a year. I mean, there were still a few of you like Nicholas Evans that have been... There it is! Yeah!
Nicholas Evans tipped $1.99 at youtube.com/Jerry Banfield. What up, Jerry? What a great throwback game.
Nicholas, I'm glad you like this. We're doing, I'm only playing games I've never played before on stream now. Fudge! I'm choosing not to curse on this stream. Not cursing encourages a little more creativity. I think I said shit here and there, but I don't know, is saying shit really cursing? You can say shit on TV. Anyhow, we're not dropping F-bombs on this one. Anyhow, back to Eric's question. So, number one thing is to be consistent over time. In order to be consistent over time, you're gonna need to really love what you do, even when you get no positive reinforcement for it. Even when nobody watches your videos. There's another $1.99! I drowned over that one.
Nicholas Evans
you can see that waist moving now.
$1.99 at
Yeah, you can see that moving.
/Jerry Banfield. Follow it.
Oof. Nicholas been following forever up in this business. Nicholas been following since like 2016. So if you want to grow your stream, you need to love what you do so much that you can do it when you get no positive reinforcement. That when you have an idea you're really excited about and nobody cares or likes it, and it hurts, that you can continue to go on. So you might need to live at your parents' house. You might need to find a partner that'll pay for everything for you. If you really want your stream to grow, you need to really think about why you want to do your stream instead of having a real job and playing video games off stream for fun. Because playing video games off stream for fun, in most cases, is much better than streaming. There's lots of games that just aren't that great to stream, and they're a lot better if you play them off stream. For example, like Mass Effect. I loved playing Mass Effect off stream. Mass Effect sucks a fat whatever you want sucked. Streaming it. It's just not fun to watch. It's not, you sit there and there's tons of dialogue, then you're talking to chat and interrupts the dialogue. You really think about why do you want to do a stream? And that's why I want to do a stream. I seem to have been born for this. Like, I love having these conversations while I stream. I love the interaction. I love playing video games. I'm skilled and practiced, both of which are important, at talking in this environment. I've loved video games my whole life, and there's nothing else I would rather do for work. I was just thinking of today, Lord, is there anything I'd rather do than hop on YouTube and make 10 bucks tonight for an hour of work? Actually, you take off the... If you take off YouTube's percentage, 40%, and you take off the taxes, knock another like 20-30% out of that. Hey, I get less than $5 an hour for tonight's stream, and that's because y'all are kind enough to drop 10 bucks in super chats. I was thinking, Lord, is there anything I'd rather do than show up and make some relatively small amount of money to play video games that I don't even know if people will like or if I'll like. Could not think of anything I'd rather do. I mean, I could do anything. I was thinking today, I'm like, I could go back to school and get a PhD in engineering. Maybe work at like SpaceX or something and help make a spaceship. Like, I could do that. I know I can do anything. I love engineering. Engineering's fun. Physics is fun. I've got a brain that can handle it. Most of y'all do too. And if you don't, you've got something else you can do. I can't think of anything better to do with myself, though. I really can't think of anything I'm more uniquely qualified to do than stream. It seems like every single thing I've done besides streaming games has failed or has brought me back to streaming games. It seems when everything else in my life goes wrong, I revert to streaming games, which to me indicates that's what I really want to do. And I got sidetracked trying to make money. I got sidetracked out of anger and frustration a few times. I just can't think of it. I'm not seeing anything else that's better for me to do. That I would rather do, and here's the second part. I don't see anything else I do that arouses so much passion in other people. I mean, sometimes it's negative. I got some haters online that, you know, only seem to watch to try and find something they can report my stream for or complain about. People who come through on Facebook every day just to say something nasty. I mean, I don't see anything better to do with myself. So, for streaming, that core thing is absolutely essential because too often people focus on short-term tactics and strategies to get views and grinding instead of focusing on long-term viability. I quit my live stream twice for a year because I was doing the same thing. All I was thinking about was getting views and money today, this week, and this month. Maybe this year at most. And then when the views and the money weren't enough to suit my ego, I eventually quit because I was so frustrated. So the number one thing, if you want to be successful with your stream, you cannot quit. You cannot quit no matter what. No matter if you get no money, if nobody watches, if your wife leaves you, I mean... You know, you gotta stick with it no matter what, because why even bother if you're not gonna... There's no reason to stream games unless it is a passion. Unless there's absolutely nothing you'd rather do, and you'd rather do without money that you could have by working a job. If you'd prefer to take... You know, if you'd rather make... If you're happy making 20, 30, 50,000... less a year so you can do streaming, then streaming might be for you. So once you get that down, then there's two basic strategies for streaming. One is grind a game. Grind a game, get really good at a game. And this is a strategy almost everyone does. Grind a game, crank out videos, put them out everywhere, crank shorts out. Basically, just grind a game. And the second strategy is to do what I'm doing, is to go for variety. And hardly anybody does this. However, because hardly anybody does it, I think there's a huge opportunity. Because if you're a game developer, what you really need are people, streamers, who have an audience that are used to seeing different games. Because hardly anybody has an audience that's used to seeing a bunch of different games out of that same streamer. Most streamers play the same games most of the time. Because if they don't, they get less views in the short term, like I've been through. However, what I see in the long term, being a variety gamer, there's huge potential in the long term. Because I can get found on so many different games, and I make it clear from the beginning, hey, I don't ever play the same game twice, you know, going forward. You know you're gonna get different games all the time. The one way viewers get burnt out and stop watching is they get burnt out of watching the same games all the time. Or they quit playing the game so they don't want to watch it. Or when a streamer has to change games, like, you know, a new Warzone comes out, you know, then you can lose huge sections of your audience. But what I'm doing is indefinitely sustainable. I never have to stick to playing a certain game. There's so many games, I can play new games every day, I'll never run out. There's like 100,000+ video games I could play. You know, even if I streamed 10 games a day, I could only get 3,600 a year. And they're making so many new games, I can't even keep up. So to me, these are the key things you need to consider. You need to put a ton of time and energy to why the hell do you want to do a live stream? Why not just work a regular job and play games? I would suggest that in 95% of cases, just work a regular job. Work a regular job and play games. Don't bother, you know, don't bother streaming. Streaming is a bunch of extra money, a bunch of extra time, and one of the dumbest things, you use streaming as an excuse to miss out on the things that matter. Like, I know several streamers who were, you know, ducking their wife and their kids so they could grind on their live stream after going to, like, you know, a regular job too. Like, that's stupid. If you really want to do your live stream, don't work a regular job. Or be single. Either one of those are viable options. If you really want to do your stream, you don't get to work a regular job. I don't get to work a regular job and make regular money. Or even something like contract labor. Or, you know, regular freelancing, I need my time for my live stream. You're either totally dedicated, you need to be totally dedicated, and, you know, either you're gonna grind a game, or you're gonna go for variety. Trying to mix grinding a game and variety doesn't work that great, because you get this mixed audience that then is never happy with you. Like, when I was grinding Warzone and playing other games, like, half the audience was always pissed off that I'm either not playing Warzone, and every stream they comment, play Warzone. Or then the other half of the audience is sick of Warzone, doesn't even know why I play Warzone, doesn't want to watch Warzone, and then they're unhappy. So I'd say commit. You know, pick either grind a single game at a time for a long period of time, or do variety. Yes, I just put Sifu. I got it coming. Kung Fu Classics. You should be up on Kung Fu games, my friend. You should. I'm gonna get some emojis. Thank you for reminding me on the emojis. Alright, and we're gonna wrap up right now. So Bitrio says, the last Bitrio asked, how do you manage your stream with time with the family? I don't work a regular job. That's how I manage it. I don't work a regular job. And my wife currently makes 6 figures, so she can pay for everything for the whole family. My income's not even needed, which is good, because I'm not making hardly anything right now. And you know, if you have a dream of being a streamer, you probably need a similar situation where all your parents pay the bills, or whether your you know, your fiance, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. You know, you probably need a similar situation, because streaming often doesn't pay hardly anything for quite a while, and even if you get far in the game. But the only way I'm able to balance is by not having a regular job. Because I don't have a regular job, I have time to go to AA meetings. I have time to live stream. I have time for my family. I have time for exercise. So because I don't have a regular job, I do have time for everything else. So I'd say you need to, if you want to do your live stream, the thing to give up is a regular job. You should refuse to do anything else for money. If you really want to be a streamer, go all in. And you know what? Don't expect that you should be making any money streaming either. If you get something, great, but it can also disappear really quick too. Hey, my pleasure. That's why I love doing my live stream. It's a great place to be honest. And because I'm so honest, I see it really helps if I just focus on the game, and then we can have the honest conversations inside the stream instead of having, you know, drama-filled titles. Steve, thanks a lot. 2 of you just commented on the honesty. That's beautiful. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap it up now because it is sex night, and if I don't wrap this up soon, I might not be getting any. I already I already might have missed watching some Star Trek with my wife, so this is like, we need to wrap this up right now. Thank you for being here. We hit 21 likes tonight. We got a new viewer in the chat. We got lots of returning viewers. Michelle, Steve, Kung Fu Classics, Katie Patton, E. Riddle. What's the next game you're going to play? I don't know. That's what's fun. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm going to play often ahead of time. Sal, Bitrio, thanks for a great stream tonight. Nicholas Evans, thanks for the super chats as well as Kung Fu Classics. I'm damn grateful for the $9.49 in super chat revenue tonight. Very grateful. That's more than I've got on most of my streams on YouTube, and I'm damn happy for it. Tell my wife I didn't just go in and jerk around tonight, although I'm going to be jerking around if I don't get out of here. So, love y'all. See you later. See you, Daniel. Every other night is sex night, too, but I still really... Oh, it's a priority.